Here we go.
Hello, hello. Welcome to the Master's Table. We are so glad you are here with us today. Thank you for joining us. I'm Tina Cleveland, your co-host. This is Frankie. He is your cook and your host, and we have a wonderful show for you today. You're going to like it. So get your pad ready, your pencil, your coffee, anything you need to make you comfortable.
Yeah, where's our coffee?
And we're going to need to work on that.
We was talking about that a while ago. We got to have some coffee right here on this set.
Thank you for being with us today.
Yep. I got a good, I tell you right now, and I say this every week, but this is a sure enough good comfort food. If you need something that'll fill you up and stick to your bones throughout the day,
all about comfort
this right here gonna do it. We're gonna do a real authentic Cajun style red beans and rice. And the rice is kind of self-explanatory. We'll throw it in at the end, but putting this together is going to be a lot of fun. We got some stuff staged. We'll go over these ingredients as we move through them. But here's the start of the party today. Our red beans, and we soak those so they're ready to go. And I'll give you a couple of tips along the way about those beans, some things you can do to hurry up this process. So I mean, I don't think this. Huh?
Do we need Beano?
Beano? Yeah, well. If you eat all these beans,
Beano kind of go together.
Look, if you eat all these beans, Beano ain't gonna do you no good. You just might well just say, let me have the living room and the TV by myself this evening.
All right.
So you and the dog can watch TV and have a good time all by yourself.
I got you.
We thank you so much for watching us today on the Master's Table. And Miss Cleveland, are you ready to start stirring?
I am.
Well,
got my handy dandy spoon that says stir the pot.
Stir the pot. Tina
That's what I like to do.
I told her she's the pot stirrer. You are the pot stirrer. Well, I think this is go ahead and coming on up one. We're going to get our stuff. We're going to put a couple of fine finishing touches right here, and we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Don't go anywhere.
On the Master's Table.
And welcome back. We are ready to get started on our red beans and rice. I think we're going to put a little butter in this Dutch oven over here so I can start stirring the pot.
Because butter. Miss Lisa, I got my shirt on today.
Makes everything bigger, and yours is coming, Lisa.
That's right. We're going to go ahead and throw just a little bit of butter. This is probably, I don't know, that I said teaspoon. That's probably going to be a tablespoon, what it's going to wind up to be. But we're going to throw that in there, and we're going to put you let that melt down a little bit. We're going to put a little bit of olive oil. Just a little bit. We want to go ahead and get the pot going. Now, what I want to start by telling you, this sausage. This is Cajun-style smoked sausage. You can use Cajun-style. You can use the andouille. If you don't like any spicy much, you can use the just a regular beef sausage or the Polish sauce, whatever kind of sausage you like. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But I just got the Cajun-style. I picked up what was on sale. You do you, and this is what we're using today. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this up in just some kind of bite-sized pieces, Tina. I'm gonna kind of throw it this way.
That's a big bite.
But it's gonna shrink down a little bit. It's just according to how big a bite. You know, some people, they take a bigger bite than others. We eat it up, so.
Well, I love smoked sausage, so.
I know you do. I'll cut that one. You said that one was too big, and I'll cut this one. But I got me a different cutting board just for the reason of this sauce. But you don't have to do this ahead of time if you don't want to. You don't have to pre-cook this. This is already done. You could go ahead and start your. You could go ahead and start your dish already. You could go ahead and start putting your ingredients and just add it in without browning it. But it's just something about doing a little bit of browning and getting a little bit of. Get a little bit of flavor going, because I like for those. We probably put a couple of teaspoons of olive oil in there along with that butter, and you'll see in just a second it'll start releasing some of those flavors. You'll see some of those juices coming out of that smoked sausage.
I smell it.
And all we want to do is we're just building flavor, building base. I got another chop knife right here. I'm gonna go ahead and while Tina's browning that up, I don't have to show you how to chop an onion, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut this one. And take a little bit of the skin off of it, just a little bit on the outside. We don't want that dry peeling. My granny would say you're taking too much of it off, but these are big onions. This recipe calls for probably a medium. I can't remember if the recipe calls for a medium size or a small onion, but this is a pretty big one, so I don't mind getting an extra layer off on the outside.
You know how much onion you
well, that's true. This is true. You use the recipe as a guide, but you can always add a little more, a little less.
Yeah, we love cooked onions.
Yeah, I love onions. I I like them cooked and things. And all I'm gonna do, I don't want these to be too small, so I'm just gonna kind of quarter these up, cut them a couple times. We'll look at it. I'll cut that one more time and get these ready. While you let that brown, we're gonna begin to just keep dropping. We're gonna drop things in there as we work right through here. But I'm gonna cut this onion while you're browning that. When you get a little bit of brown on it, you let me know. I'm gonna go ahead and cut my pepper. I'll cut this end off. You know, a lot of people say you waste a lot when you do that, but then again, it calls for just a small sized bell pepper. The recipe calls for a red and a green, and really and truly, that's just for color, just to make it look good when you get done. But if you have just green bell pepper, or if you may just want to use red, the red, tends to be a little bit sweeter than the green. So, if you like going that route, put the pepper in there, but, generally put your 2 in there. And then the same thing I'm going to do with this. I'm going to cut this. I don't want this to be little bitty chunks. We want to know we're eating something. So we're going to cut those down about that size and just kind of, just a big, I'd call that a big rough chop right there. I know there's some chefs out there say you ain't doing it right, but I'm not a chef. I just love to cook. So I'm just going to cut them down and kind of not, it's kind of hard sometimes to do, but try to cut all of them kind of close to the same size so they're all kind of cooked the same. But at the end of the day, we're gonna eat it. It ain't gonna matter what it is.
The colors are pretty.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the reason why I like putting the red in there, because it does add a little color.
All right, they're getting brown now.
Okay, they're getting a little brown. All right,
Yep.
Well, if they brown, what we're gonna do while I'm cutting that, we're gonna come on and drop these onions. Just keep on. Tina, you said you was a pot stirrer.
I am.
I don't know what that means, but
it don't mean what everybody thinks.
I know. I'm just aggravating you. I know.
But I know some people who are.
Yeah, well, I think we all do. We all do. Yep, it takes all kinds to make the world go round, but thank God for Jesus.
Yep.
It makes everything all right. So,
he has been good to us, I'm telling you right now.
He sure has.
That makes me think of, I want to say hello to Miss Joyce and Miss Evelyn and Brother David and Sister Barbara. I know y'all are watching, and I just want to say hello and thank you so much for watching and joining us on the Master's Table. We've gotten some feedback from them and Miss Bonnie and Brother Dennis, and I hope y'all enjoy this recipe.
And Miss Lisa, I got my shirt on, kind of Miss Lisa. So, all right, I'm gonna cut this. Kind of, everybody cuts stuff up different. I just kind of chop this celery down a little bit. Sometimes, and like that other piece, I may leave a couple of big pieces, but I just kind of like to give all this stuff a rough chop. But this is gonna cook for a while now. Y'all know generally my angle is to come at you and tell you, I'm gonna get you home and get you something you're gonna have done in, 20, 30 minutes. This is not one of those dishes. This is not a dish that's gonna come together. You can have it prepped and on the stove in 20 minutes, and that's exactly what we're gonna do today, but this right here takes some time to cook. This takes, I generally cook this, if I'm cooking it in the pot, and we'll talk about that in just a second, but if I'm cooking it in the pot like I'm cooking, you're looking at, easily 2 hours if you cook it slow. So this will be a Saturday morning, something you'd want to get up and put on and get going, and so you'd have something to eat later in the day or that evening. But you can, I have done this recipe, and I made this in yeah, those are brown. I'm gonna go ahead and drop these peppers in there.
We could just stop right here and it'd be good. Yep. Get some loaf bread.
Well, we're just getting started. We are just getting started. But what I was gonna say, now you can do this same recipe and put it in your crock pot.
Yeah.
Now the last time I cooked, I cooked red beans. We done red beans and rice for our church a few Sundays ago, and what I done was put it on that night, so I didn't have to get up and try to get all that done real early before we went to church. And by the way, in Genesis Baptist Church, we eat every Sunday.
Yep.
After the service, so we always
Genesis
bring in
people.
Yep. We eat up some stuff every Sunday after the service. What you looking like over there, Miss Cleveland? Is that browning up all right?
Nope.
Okay. It ain't.
They need to be brown.
No, this is gonna cook 2 hours.
Okay.
You're good right there. So we're just gonna continue to. We're gonna continue. Now this was like 3 big pieces of celery, and then I had that one little piece that was hanging on in the bag, and I just didn't have the heart to throw it in the trash, so
I just went ahead.
Like I say, then again, it's some of that stuff. Do you like it or not? If you don't like it, don't put. You know, you don't have to put it in there.
No celery for me.
This is what my recipe calls for. I mean, it's just like, and I know it probably don't even say it on the recipe, but I'm gonna put half of this jalapeno in there, just a half. And I don't even think my recipe calls for it, but it was last when I looked at it.
Jalapenos, don't you?
I do love jalapenos, yeah. Jalapeno, jalapeno, whatever pino you want to call it, I like them. I like them a lot. They just, you know, if you like a little extra heat, this right here gonna do it up, Miss Cleveland.
I believe it will.
Yep, this is gonna do it. But what I was gonna, that's got in my throat.
See that?
This is what them jalapenos do. Now that I got
God said, they're not meant for everything.
They ain't meant for talking and cutting them up at the same time. But what I was gonna say about that crock pot, you can do the same thing in the crock pot and cook it overnight and it's ready the next morning. Now, right there, I wanna go ahead before we start adding anything else. This is probably, I'm gonna try to get them 3. I wanna put about 4 cloves of minced garlic. I love this fresh garlic right here. Break that down in there, Tina, please. These are pretty big. I'm gonna try to get that one. And you still laughing. God gonna get you for laughing at me about that jalapeno getting in my throat. It's all right.
You ain't got me yet. I've been laughing at you a long time.
I know you've been laughing at me for 30 years, haven't you? All right, I'm gonna lay this out of the way. Okay. We just want that once that garlic, and like I say, once that heat hits it, it becomes a little bit of fragrance. So now,
it smells really good.
Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and start adding some chicken broth. Now, there's really no particular order. You can go ahead and put all your seasoning in if you wanted to and all, but this is gonna cook for a while. This is gonna cook, like I say, to get it where I want it, it takes about 2 hours. You may get by in an hour and a half, an hour. If you wanna try to turn the heat up and cook it faster, you can. But I like to simmer it for a while. I like for it to cook for a while. So I'm gonna go ahead and start adding my chicken broth. I poured this up a few minutes ago and I covered it up. We're gonna start, this is right here, and this holds 4, and I put all the cook in there. So this is probably close to 5 cups of chicken broth. We're gonna see where that puts it. Go ahead and cut that on up to that power boil all the way up, and we're gonna bring that back up to a boil, Miss Cleveland. And we'll see where that puts it. Because I know I'm gonna have to add some more, but I don't wanna pour too much right now until we start adding some more of our other ingredients. Because we still got a whole lot of goodness to go in here now. While that's getting ready to come back up, we're gonna start adding some seasoning. I'm gonna start, this is very optional because I know some people, your sodium intake, you can't, some people can't eat much salt at all. This is a teaspoon of salt. We're gonna start with that. And this is a big, you say, well, that's a lot of salt in there. Well, Brother Frank, well, this is gonna be a lot of stuff in this pot. This is a teaspoon and a half, and it may be close to a tablespoon, because I always kind of stump my toe a little bit when I pour this oregano. But this is it's oregano. And then we got a half a teaspoon of thyme. You know what? That's one thing I wish I had.
I'm gonna say.
I wish we had thyme in the bottle.
That's a whole nother sermon right there.
Good. That's a sermon in itself right there. Thyme in the bottle. All right, then this is a half a teaspoon. You go a half a teaspoon or a teaspoon, and this is smoked paprika. This is gonna give us just a little bit of smoky flavor. And here comes my favorite. Now we're gonna start right here, and you may not want to start where I start. This is 3 tablespoons of Creole. Now, you may not like much heat, and you may like a whole lot more heat than me. This is a good place for me to start, but you may want to start with 1 or 2 tablespoons of Creole. And I like the Creole kick because it's and there's all kinds of brands out there, and I'm not promoting anybody or anything. All I'm saying is this is a low sodium base. That's the reason why I like this, and this one don't have a whole lot of salt. So if you want to know what it is and get some more information about it, you can reach out to me at Frankie393@gmail. That's not mine. I can't promote it, but I can tell you right now it's good stuff, and I can tell you where you can get it. It's a low sodium Creole. All right, and this right here is gonna give us just a little bit more. This is a teaspoon of red cayenne pepper. But like I say now, you know, say, well, Brother Frank, you're putting a lot of stuff in there, but this is a big pot. Just hang with me. Just hold on. Just hold on just a minute. So now that we've got all that added, we're going that's heating back up pretty good. I can see the steam starting to come off of it. Let that set and come to a boil. And I want to chop just a little bit, not a lot, but I like these onion this white part of these onion stems just for flavor. I love the flavor of these right here. So I'm gonna put just that where it's white and changing over into green, what I call it. I guess that's green. It looks, is that green? They call them green onions. You know I'm colorblind, so I'm gonna say that it's getting into the green. So we're gonna put that in there just for a little bit of flavor. And I don't know, I think I need to go ahead before I dump my, no, I think I'll go ahead and let that, it's almost a boil. I want it to be boiling before I dump the beans in. Now let me talk about this just for a minute. Now I picked this up at the store. Now y'all don't get too happy, run all over the house shouting when you see this, but I got a big whole smoked turkey leg, Miss Cleveland. And we're gonna drop this in here just for seasoning. And this thing right here will be it'll be so soft when we get done. We'll just shred that apart. And it's gonna come and be part of our red beans and rice. It's gonna be, I mean, you won't even know what's in there, but it's just gonna come all to pieces. So, with that being said, that's almost a boil. I'm gonna wait before I pour that. I was debating about that chicken broth, so I want to go ahead and start shaking some of these in.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of beans, ain't it?
Yeah, don't put all of them in
No,
there.
I'm not gonna put all. I'm just gonna put that much right there. We'll save that little bit right there.
Good
We
Lord.
can add them. Now, like I told you, I didn't want to put too much chicken broth in the beginning. So you got that up on that power boil. Now, this was I think this was a 1 pound bag. I think this was a 1 pound bag. I didn't save the packaging, see, but I always buy that one. Maybe it was a 2 pound bag. But what I was gonna say, I soaked them overnight. Now, if you put them in the crock pot, that's debatable. Some people will argue with you, well, you still got to soak them. But if I cook them in the crock pot, I fill it up pretty, a lot with chicken broth and water, and I just let them cook. But I let these soak overnight. Now, let me give you a pro tip while we're talking about this. If you're in a hurry, like maybe right now you're getting ready and you got to leave in a little bit, but you want to get some beans going before you leave, boil you some water, get you some water boiling, take your pot and put your beans in there and put that hot water in there. And in 1 hour, the beans will be the same as though they soaked overnight. So you can be ready to cook in an hour in your pot because you don't want to put the dry beans in here. So, you can soak them overnight, or you can put boiling water and let them set, and for about an hour and 15 minutes, and they'll be ready to cook. So I hear that that's about to get ready to start boiling again. But I do think I want to go ahead and add just a little bit more. We want to get this going to a boil before we go to a break. I want everybody to see exactly what it's going to look like. And I'm gonna probably put about 2 more cups, and then see. About 2 more cups of chicken broth now. And I didn't bring it with me today. I like the store-bought chicken broth, but I really love the chicken base. I like the chicken base that you can take a couple of spoons of chicken base and make and mix up your broth. So I'm gonna let that's enough to get it started. I'm still probably gonna have to add a little bit. Just let it.
I'm getting it mixed up good, and then I'm gonna let it just sit for a minute.
She can't be still. She's the same way at home. That woman cleaning all the time, doing something, vacuuming. I can call her. She's either vacuuming or making up the bed or dusting, doing something. I'm like, just sit down for a little bit. Just sit down for a minute.
I ain't got time to sit down.
I know you don't. But what you want to do is let this come up to a boil. Once this comes to a boil, then we'll turn it down to a simmer, and then we're gonna let it go for probably at least an hour at a simmer. But I would check it every 30 minutes or so if you can, just to make sure there's nothing sticking on the bottom. But it really shouldn't. But
now, is this one of those things that the longer it sits, like you can put it in the refrigerator, and 2 or 3 days later it's going to taste better?
Oh, well, anything better. When you got this much seasoning and stuff, I mean, of course, once it sets, it's gonna be good. It's just one of them things. Those flavors just keep releasing, and it's gonna be it'll be good to heat it back up. We can work on this for a few days to eat a pot this size. But this is one of those pots when you go to family reunion, they're gonna want to know who made the beans. They're gonna say, who made the beans? So.
And we are gonna serve rice with it. But the only other thing that I think would be better with it is cornbread.
That's what I'm talking about, cornbread.
Cornbread is good with anything.
Now, I don't want to, let me get me a glove right here, Miss Cleveland. I'm going to get our turkey. I might eat that turkey leg.
I mean, that was a big turkey right there.
I might.
Turkey on steroids.
I might, well, they all on steroids now.
That was like...
I had a thought, y'all tell me what you think. Y'all reach back out to me and tell me what you think. If you go into go into a grocery store and look at the chicken, it says no antibiotics. And I say, well, I'm glad. I don't want to eat no sick chicken. Amen. I don't want no chicken that's been taking no antibiotics.
Every chicken's sick.
All right. Finna go caveman on you.
Fred Flintstone, here we go.
I'm finna get a big old bite out of that and then put it in the pot. No, this is a smoked turkey leg. You can pick these up at your grocery store. A turkey wing. And I didn't want to scare Tina too bad today. Turkey necks, smoked turkey necks, all that stuff is good.
No,
so if I'd have slipped it in here and cooked it,
no, you don't.
She never would have known the difference.
Yes, I would.
All I'm gonna do is just kind of work that in there and push that down.
I ain't eating no neck.
And we want that. You might be done ate some neck, you just don't know.
No, I know what it looks like.
I done cooked up a whole lot of stuff you've ate and you don't know what it is.
No, I don't believe that.
Tina.
I don't believe that.
You don't know what I done cooked up for you. No, I'm just kidding. But like I say, we want to bring that up. You can go ahead if you want to put that top on there for right now.
I can.
Yeah. Can you handle that?
I don't know. I might not can.
We'll bring this up to a boil, and when we get this to a boil, then we want to cut this down for a simmer. And then, like I said, we're gonna cook this probably for. I would like to check it in 30 minutes if I don't get too busy and sidetracked. But I know how you are. You get busy and sidetracked at home, so you would probably have to check it in about an hour. But as long as it's simmering, go by and stir it every once in a while. And me personally, I let this simmer for probably 2 hours and check it every 30 minutes and just keep stirring. And I tell you right now, when you get done, you're gonna wind up with a whole lot of goodness, Miss Cleveland. Only thing you'll need to do is make some cornbread. You gonna cook some? Mm-hmm. You gonna cook some cornbread today?
I can cook cornbread.
I like it. You gonna put some cracklings in it?
Yep.
I like crackling cornbread, buttermilk cornbread.
Yep.
Whew, I felt something right there.
Yep.
I felt the Holy Ghost running across when you said something about some crackling cornbread.
Yeah.
Amen. Amen. Is it boiling yet?
I don't know. You said put the top on it. That's what I did.
I'm just listening.
No,
it's almost. It's almost. But what I'm gonna do, I done made a mess right here. I want to cut a little bit of this top off, and I want to cut just a little bit of this green onion so we have a little bit of. We'll save this for a little bit of garnish. That's too good to not use. Save that little bit right there. What you think about that, Miss Lou?
I think we're going to let this finish cooking, and we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, you're going to see the finished product, and you're going to get your tip of the day. So hang around for that. That's going to be interesting. Something that the cook didn't even know. So
I did not know that. but let me say this one more time as we're getting ready to go to break. 2 hours simmering. Once you put this together, 2 hours simmering. If you do this the night before in the crock pot, cut it on. I would cook it on high for at least 6 hours. But if you put it on low, I let it cook at night on low. Next morning, cut it up on high until your beans get soft, and it'll be dead. That'll be nothing but fire.
We still got a little bit more to go. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back
on the Master's Table.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. We are ready. Yeah, we're ready. We're ready to see how this comes out. And let me give you your tip of the day. And it has to do with rice. And even Mr. Cook said he didn't know this.
I didn't know it. Learn something new every day.
You know how your rice, a lot of times you cook it and it sits out and then it gets sticky. Well, if you don't want it to get sticky, you wash it before you cook it. So he said he didn't know that. I didn't know that either because I don't cook.
It was boiling.
But so
I didn't know
rinse your rice before you cook it, and it will not be sticky.
Didn't know that. I learned something I didn't know, but I thought it was.
We're gonna try it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to try that. I like those tips. I learned something. But I thought it was getting a bath while it was boiling with water. I didn't know that you had to. That's yeah. But anyway, let's talk. That's a good tip.
That's neither here nor there.
I know. We're gonna try it. I'm always trying. You can go ahead and cut this off. This is a result of about 2.5 hours is what this would be right here. Now you see, if you can see to get it overhead.
I wish you could
right there,
smell it.
This turkey, I told y'all that turkey leg. Let me see if I can get a look. This turkey leg, it just comes off the bone.
Yep.
It is off the bone. So Tina went ahead and made up some rice. She didn't make no cornbread. I don't know. I can't get her to make no cornbread. But she made up the rice, and I'm gonna put just a little. I want just a little taste of those beans right there, because this is one of my favorites right here. And I don't know what that does for y'all right there, but that right there just does something for me. So this is very simple, great comfort food. This is a meal in itself. This has got meat, beans, sausage. I mean, it's all right there.
I don't know that it's real healthy, but.
No, we didn't say nothing about low-cal or healthy today.
We gotta go though.
We'll pair it up with a salad. Join us next time on the Master's Table.
Yep. God bless you. Let us hear from you at frankie393gmail.com.
Yep.
And we'll see you next time.